Alright, Allie, I know you missed a lot, so we're kind of on a bit of a timetable here, so I'm only gonna say everything once, so I need you to bring out your listening ears, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so, in short, we died, but thanks to our trademark Guybrush shenanigan, we were able to rip up a rift to we were able to open up a rift to help us get back to the land of the living. However, LeChuck ended up using that rift to also start using the sponge to suck up vast amounts of voodoo from the crossroads, thus turning him into a pirate god. And he was able to finally turn Elaine into his pirate god queen, making her really evil. And right now, we are on a quest to pretty much, that spell we had in episode 4 that we used to help make the sponge grow larger.
Yep.
We are now working on a reversal spell to pretty much shrink the sponge down to its original size so that LeChuck can no longer be using it for his evil schemes.
Right.
What if I told you that I stole
Yeah,
Got all that, honey?
a lot of this I remember from when I first played the game myself.
If you say
Okay,
it's true,
we already have a handful of the ingredients, we just need to find a few more.
Nice.
also
Okay.
sooner or later we're gonna have to do
Sure.
something about this decrepit body of ours because it's starting to rot. It's starting to
Normally I
smell.
wouldn't trust a thief.
It'll take care of itself in due time, don't you worry.
Something about you.
Oh,
Really?
that's just the enchanted
Okay.
Google charm talking.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
We're making him trust us so he won't try and steal stuff from us.
Right.
Yep.
Good luck with the pill.
Yeah, don't worry, he won't. After that whole thing, he's not gonna, pickpocket us anymore.
Thank goodness.
Oh yeah, because by the way, yeah, we were a ghost at first. We had to repossess our body,
Oh,
and
yeah.
in escaping the land of the dead using the same spell that LeChuck first used when he became a ghost pirate in the first Monkey Island, we left the door wide open, which is how LeChuck has been summoning the forces of the land of the dead and living.
However, if you noticed, we not only made one rift, we made quite a few rifts, and we've been using those to travel back to various places of the land of the living through the crossroads, and we've been kind of utilizing that to help us with the various puzzles that led up to this point.
Also, we sort of talked over that brief bit, but remember back in episode 1 when we were asked to wear a blindfold before getting into the bar? Apparently that was just because the bouncer there was a fucking idiot.
God damn it.
No, not less an idiot, more so he was just sticking with us.
This ABC gum should fit the bill.
Well, it's because of that dicking around that we ended up being put in court.
Yeah.
No worries. Alright, so, where does this take us to? What? Eh?
It just takes us back here.
Only slightly worse for wear, considering.
Okay.
But don't worry, we have what we need. We need that gum, because its flavorlessness is what we actually need for our little recipe.
Oh, right, because taste.
Sorry about
Oh.
that. I had to walk away for
Alright.
just a minute.
That pirate
Okay.
thief stole my voodoo trust charm.
What?
He's good.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
don't
granted, we
worry.
don't need a thing.
Oh.
We don't need a thing anyway.
Yeah.
Also,
Has-
wow, he never even got near
You
us.
are bloated in your
Yeah,
hips and
that's how
thighs.
good of a pickpocket he
Block out
is.
the sight
But yeah,
with a
now
cover
we have
for your
everything we
eyes.
need to shrink down this
Blindfold
voodoo
ought to do the
sponge.
trick.
Right,
First, we
opposite
need
of sight.
something to... Yep, blocking the sight. Next, something with no
Keep
flavor.
off the
I'll be
weight
right
from
back.
food with no flavor.
No worries.
Okay.
And a taste
This'll
so
block out the
bland, there's
taste.
nothing to
Watch,
save
she
it.
ends up
Here you go,
being gone for the
sponge.
rest of the part.
Been on this for a while.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
This'll
Next,
be
something to
Fight
fight
the
smell.
of the after-dinner treat. Eliminate odor and the urge to eat. Fight
Aw.
odor and wetness for the active pirate. And sponges.
Sup.
That's a lot of sponge to wipe.
Next, a secret.
Your sixth sense is bloated with fates not yet dealt. You'll find that a secret will help tighten your belt. One sponge shrinking secret coming up.
What do you mean a secret? You just told it what the secret was. It's a belt buckle.
No, this is something else.
A light
We
touch
traded
for
the
an
belt buckle for
appetizer.
that.
Stay true and thrive. A delicate feather plucked from a bird half alive.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah, it counts, yeah.
Also made a mind of the-
Finally,
The smallest mouth snacks on a tiny whispered word. A sound so petite it is barely heard. Bon voyage, my barely audible buddies.
Okay, sorry about that.
Welcome
back.
back.
No,
we
you're
just,
fine.
We just finished
You're
the
actually-
ritual by giving all the anti-spells.
Right.
and that causes the sponge to go petite again.
So, all the demonic
Bye-bye,
energy is no
sponge.
longer fueling them. And Elaine is cured.
Yay!
Don't you think what you did can't be undone? Elaine will be my demon bride, come hell or high water.
Also, he's a demon god right now.
Right.
Chuck.
I remember that.
Yeah,
The voodoo lady?
Yes.
Think of all the peril that woman has put you in. You've been blindly led around by her for so long, Guybrush.
She helped
but
us
she
every
was the-
time.
My fishy friends.
Oh, the more people.
Cavalry has
Hey.
arrived.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah. Winslow brought the entire cavalry with him as well to fight us. To fight the
That's
battle.
right.
Got it. Caught him right in the beard.
The trident shall blot out the sun.
Enough of this.
Not if he blots him out first.
Fear our forks. Oh.
Oh. You just.
Going on far too long.
Uh-oh.
Elaine is mine. My demon bride. To make me a kingly breakfast each
Can't
morning.
we just-
To see to it that
Oh.
my fortress of evil is kept tidy in case we have guests over to torture. To patch up all my worn-out, tattered socks. And
Oh.
Oh!
And to stab you right through the back.
That's my Laney Poo.
Yep.
You're right, sweetie. He doesn't give you much to work with, does he? Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Whoop.
Oh, right,
Something's
he's a-
wrong. That
Excuse
Oh, yeah.
cutlass
He's
should
still
have
not
killed
dead.
him.
The wifey and
He's
I
a
need
god,
to have a little
though.
private talk.
That's true.
Yep.
What
We're
happened?
gonna have to
Jesus.
God dang it.
Okay,
Well-
basically, just to elaborate, what's happening now is that it pretty much has a twofer here. We have to kill both his body and his soul in order for him to, like, permanently die.
Of course.
So that, yeah, and that cutlass will only wound his body. We need another blow to his soul.
But how?
You'll
Yeah, where's
see.
his soul?
First,
Oh,
he's gonna
crap.
trounce after us.
You see, you can temporarily destroy my body, Elaine, but you cannot damage my spirit.
Oh!
Morgan.
My spirit!
Ha!
You wound me!
Stealing fun's back, Toad!
Oh, Morgan? What are you doing here? And where did you get that sword?
She had a sword earlier.
We can kill LeChuck, but we have to find a way to take him on in both the physical and the spiritual plane at the same time.
So just keep him here.
What now?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He's not gonna hold still long enough for
Just
it.
Oh.
keep him with one foot in the door.
Literally got
Right.
punch slapped in the afterlife.
Reap!
And we got freaking
Oh yeah, he's
thrown
pissed.
off, thrown back to reality.
You lass.
Yeah. So now we're about to approach... This is basically the final battle of Tales of Monkey Island. LeChuck is literally just going to be ragdolling us all throughout his ship.
And the realm of the dead, or just the realm of the living?
You tried to destroy me.
Well, no, it's only just going to be on the ship here. He's going to try to keep us onto the ship as long as he
All
can.
that pain, all
So this
that
gives new
suffering.
meaning to the word
Now
LeChuck.
just imagine what I'm gonna
Pretty
do.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poof. Devil damn it. It took me a second to realize what you meant by that.
Aha.
Oh,
Ouch.
Guybrush!
I'm okay.
Don't worry, I'm a
Who's
mighty
next?
pirate
He's
trademark.
a LeChuckster.
Oh my god.
I'm a LeChuckster.
Always wanted to try this.
Here we
I had
go.
to.
Guybrush Threepwood, mighty pie.
Oh,
Doesn't
Oh.
work
Okay, that
unless you need a grip.
that is, well, it did a good thing with the sail at least.
Elaine,
Guybrush!
Careful.
whatever happens, you've got to stop LeChuck while he's between worlds. Promise me you won't give up and become his bride again.
Don't talk like that. I love you.
Promise me.
Promise him.
Promise.
Thank you.
yeah, seriously,
Wait a minute.
why'd you end up doing that in the first place?
Macaroni. That does get explained later, you'll
Help
see.
here?
I'm on it, sweetie.
Alright?
Good to see it all
Basically,
working.
once LeChuck comes by here, she's gonna distract him. First?
No use. My hook won't fit in this lock.
Oh
Nuts.
crap.
Well,
Dang it.
shit.
Doing a better job with that skeleton army than I'm doing with LeChuck.
Well, it also doesn't help that we're still technically a disheveled old pile of rotten
Here
flesh.
it comes.
Would you mind inspecting me hull for me?
Oh, it's full of holes. We should really take her into port. Get a nice mug of grog. Talk about the good old days.
I think today will become my good old days.
Boot!
Oh, we're
jeez.
tied up to the anchor.
Oh, jeez.
Good thing we can hold our breath for 10 minutes.
Well, it's a
Oh,
good thing
yeah.
our
and
body's
also, and
dead.
also,
Stop it!
yeah, and
you
we're also
monsters!
undead.
Back at mating ground!
Right? And this is basically what happens. Like, if we didn't get Elaine to help us in this part, he would keep pulling us through the deck of his ship until we actually get back onto the ship. But now that she's keeping him busy, we're stuck in this position long enough for us to get these keys.
Oh, okay, cool. We can use that instead of
keys.
a-
I'm sure we won't be needing these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, he'll be fine.
He doesn't need them anymore.
Ow!
Hey!
Bastard.
I like how she said, "You bastard."
That's also I think that's also the first time I've ever heard them say it in this series.
Yeah.
I think they do say it in 4, but it's kind of in a drunken way where
And
like, one of
nobody
the
talks
characters
about
calls some.
4.
That's fair.
But I agree. So I understand you there.
4 is the ultimate insult of the series.
Ba-da-bum.
Ah.
Spent, Swabby. Perhaps you ought to rest a spell. Off to your quarters.
Oh gosh!
Oh, jeez.
Ow! Dang.
I mean, I won't give. Oh, I'm okay. Not on a
Are you
nice
gonna
nap
be
helped
okay with
out.
it?
Pain.
You never told me my quarters are all rusty and sharp, and why are all those? Oh wait, that's right. They're the freaking merfolk's
We can
forks.
stop the Chuck, but we have to do it when he's
Don't mind me like talking to her. I'm basically using this to like basically waste time while I wait for LeChuck because you do have to wait a bit for him to trigger you into the next part of the sequence.
I guess I should. Oh, I guess I should ask: have we come across that part that Ron Gilbert was particularly partial for yet?
Not yet. It's going to be a little closer to the finale.
Okay.
This was the vacation.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be, wasn't it?
Guybrush?
Guys, I can't stay.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sorry.
Yeah, this was not a good time for me to record.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Don't
Thanks
worry.
for at
Just,
least sticking around.
just
Yeah.
save your audio, and we'll pretty much bring you up to speed on everything afterwards.
Yeah.
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 not gonna work.
Just send over your audio as soon as you can.
Nah.
Take care, Bree.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
take
have
care.
a good day now.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
It's so
Oh, boy.
cute watching my dear Elaine.
Now then, while the dragon is gone.
Oh jeez.
Did it ever occur to you that I know more about that cursed cutlass than all of ye barnacle brains?
I mean, maybe.
Oh, back up on the crow's nest again.
Ouch.
So, now what?
Is there anything else we can do from up here?
Well, Hook, how are you and I gonna swing our way out of this mess?
I don't know. Maybe quickly run down with the.
Elaine's ring. At least I managed not to lose it.
And it's not cursed, right?
It's not
Now
cursed.
I know
How did you get that back again?
thought we
It's
had
a,
this
it's
whole
a spare
time.
that Elaine.
I wonder if
It's
one
a
of
spare
these
that
keys
Elaine
will
gave
unlock
him.
that drawer.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but I was like, did we
wait,
have
wait.
that this entire
wait.
time?
That's right. That was her ring, not our ring. My
Yep.
bad.
Right.
Kinda think
Yeah,
that's
her
wrong.
ring's the one that we've been keeping this entire time.
Do we ever get our ring back?
It's a-
I don't. You know what's funny? Like, out of all the loose ends they tie up, I think that's the one they kind of
But Chuck-
overlooked.
Aw.
You've kidnapped Elaine. You've strung me up in lame traps, zapped me with a voodoo doll. You've tried to force me to be your undead slave, but never tried to kill me so brazenly.
Where have you been for the past 4
mistake
games?
I ever made.
And he has a point. He really should have just done this from the beginning. Dude,
Yeah, he could have saved a lot of strife doing that.
forget the fireballs. Forget the voodoo doll. Just stab him. Okay, not the
wrong
not
one.
the hook. We tried that. Hurry.
Yeah, that was my bad.
I mean, granted, for all we know, this may as well very well be the Eggman excuse in that, well, just killing him, so bluntly isn't enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Lanykins!
3P!
Stop
Three
with the
feet.
names. It's not even cute anymore.
Need any help?
Sounds desperate.
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, poor Guybrush. He's sounding practically broke.
Yeah, honestly, like, that's probably one of my favorite things out of episode 5 of this. Like, they really do a good job of... Dominic, I think this is one of the few times Dominic really gets to, like, stretch his acting for Guybrush outside of just being, like... Sometimes he'll be angry, sometimes he'll be snarky. I think this is one of the few times we actually get to see him, like, actually emote pain and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, because like up until this entire time between the second and all the remakes and third games, Guybrush's whole like tone and his whole like persona was more so the weak but lovable, courageous, like heart of gold pirate, and never really was like he never really felt like any real struggle besides just figuring out a puzzle.
A seesaw. Let's see.
Ha.
Uh,
I heard to laugh.
Cute
I
watching
know.
my dear
Yeah.
Elaine swing that sword
Doof.
like she knows what she's doing. Did it ever occur to you that I know more about that
We heard that
than
already.
all of ye barnacle brains?
Yeah, some of the dialogue does kind of loop after a while.
Which is fair.
So when do we get to the part where we actually win?
Yeah, what are we
Uh,
missing
it-
here?
We'll get to it. I did have to repeat there because I did need to get that barrel so I can make that makeshift seesaw.
Oh.
Wait, but now that we're up here, and if he's still standing where he's supposed to be standing,
Yep.
then couldn't that mean...
To the crossroads, at least LeChuck won't have as much.
Yeah, and that's why we needed to make that rip into the sail, because if you'll notice, right below us is a cannon. We're gonna need to get into the cannon in order to actually, you know, get through into that rift.
So wait, we're gonna literally blow ourselves out of a cannon after everything that's happened?
Yeah. Yeah, very
What,
much.
do you really expect any less from Guybrush?
Not really, no. Though, that being said, he probably should make sure to bring a helmet.
He will, don't worry. You don't even have to worry about looking for a helmet. He'll bring his own in a cute little callback.
Okay.
My ship.
Elaine.
And no voodoo lady. By Blackbeard's boots, I hate that woman.
Well, she has helped thwart your plans for years.
Ow.
Ow.
See, I can't see how much more of this, like, he can take. He is not even a... I can't even make the argument of, like, remember when Hercules was depowered and fighting the Cyclops?
Yes, dear.
Like,
Okay.
at least then you can still make the argument that Hercules was
Lights
still kind of
the
ripped.
cannon.
Thank you.
Now back to
Now
sword
we're
fighting.
gonna get onto the door.
Seesaw.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is, for me anyway, it's a little bit tricky to summon this particular thing, because, there you go. Because you have to, like, time it at the right time. So, we're in the cannon, get a little helmet.
Oh, thank goodness he brought his helmet.
Oh, wow. Have we had that this entire time since the first game?
No, he just, it was just a cute little nod to the first game.
LeChuck's giving me a bit of the business.
And...
Like, toop.
Spirit?
Need to trap him, Guybrush!
Oh, you two can get cozy together when I'm done giving Threepwood his painful and permanent farewell into the afterlife.
Well, LeChuck's got something right. We are gonna give a farewell to something.
How are we gonna trap him, though? Oh!
Oh god, we're literally gonna sacrifice our shred of life.
Guybrush, what are
But
you doing?
this will cause the rip to close.
Only way.
Yep. It'll close in a way that keeps him incapacitated long enough for Morgan to wound his soul and Elaine to wound his flesh.
That's it.
Literally got the best of both of them. Sorry, LeChuck.
Yep.
And yeah,
more-
since you asked
no
Logan,
more
this
escape.
is the bit. This here is the bit that I was talking about. That like there's a bunch of things that Ron was definitely fond of. This bit right here, he liked the idea of like Guybrush sacrificing himself and pretty much making it seem like he won. He defeated LeChuck, but yeah, now
Yes,
he's
he did.
stuck in the crossroads forever.
Not even able to pass on to the afterlife?
The
Nope.
center of the crossroads.
Yep.
Guess I'm stuck here for good now.
But there's another thing. There's one thing, and this is another thing that Ron really liked. You see the
Elaine's
string?
ring.
We've had this whole
This
time.
thing is not
It's
to lose it.
really precious to us.
For all
Uh-huh.
5 of these...
Courage, anchor, direction, sacrifice. Place these things in a ring at the center of the crossroads.
Huh.
Clever.
Elaine is
Oh.
Elaine represents all of that to him.
Mm-hmm. And just like that,
Wow!
Oh, hello.
He's
Whoa.
back! And he's
And
alive!
is back.
Wait,
and with a hand.
But where's
wait,
the
did we
ring?
just...
Guybrush!
Oh, hello.
Oh, it's about time.
Aww.
Wait,
Wait, you were expecting me? But I was dead. Is that why you
You
gave
should
me...
know enough to trust me by now, Guybrush Threepwood.
Of course.
You asked LeChuck to
Aw.
make you a demon bride. How did you know I would be able to bring you back from that?
yeah.
After all these years and all of our adventures, 2 things are certain. That I always have a plan, and that Guybrush Threepwood will always come for me when I need him most.
Aww.
Aw.
Yeah, but wait, seriously, that was your master plan? Just
That was your master plan? You have more faith in me than I thought.
Well, it's like she married you or something.
thing now is that LeChuck is gone for good this time.
yep.
Finally.
You are finally
Oh.
free from whatever fate was planned for you and LeChuck.
Seriously.
And that's what this whole Esponja Grande thing has been about,
Wait.
huh?
That's
Oh, actually,
what...
funny thing about that.
Actually, it's pronounced Esponja with an H sound. at the
It
end.
is.
Oh,
That's how it's supposed to be.
But we've all been saying Esponja.
Yes, I know. It's been bothering me this whole time.
It's supposed to be
I
Esponja.
don't want you to
It's
look
Spanish.
Yeah, it's Spanish.
Yeah.
So,
Even-
yeah. What a odd way to end our tale.
Wait, because, what about the voodoo lady? What about all of that mess?
We'll give that a few minutes, but for now, yeah, that is the Tales of Monkey Island, the, at the moment, final tale of the entire Monkey Island series. And I gotta say, going all the way from the first to this, it's been one trip, and me personally, I still really love this game. Like, I still think the second game is the best in the series, and I do still really love a lot about Curse, but I would say that Tales for me is kind of like a very close tie with Curse as being my second favorite, just because I think I really do like a lot of the scenarios and, like, the ideas that are, like, around it. Like, it definitely has some of the more interesting and hilarious moments in the series I've seen so far. The voice acting is really good. Like, I honestly think that this is Dominique's best performance as Guybrush between 3 and the remakes and whatnot. Well, I actually liked him a bit in the 2 remake, but I think this one is probably the best. And just, yeah, this is just, honestly, like, I really would love to see some continuation of Monkey Island, but if this is going to be like the end, if this is how they're going to end Monkey Island, I'm glad that they ended it off at least a really good note here.
I'll agree with that. Like, I do think Tales of Monkey Island, despite its faults, is still a fairly solid game in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I unfortunately don't know where they could go with this, especially if they are writing this out that LeChuck is dead. Like,
yeah,
finished.
But basically, do you have, like, any other things you want to say about it before we switch over to Jordan?
James or me?
You, because I think James already... Well, were you finished with yours, James?
I mean, honestly, I just abridged it the best I could. Like, honestly, my sentiments are more or less the same with Hypes. I do, again, a very solid game, even if it does carry a bit of the stink of typical Telltale limitations. And, I mean... and I will say that there were some aspects of the game I do feel were a little on the moon logic side of things, but otherwise, yeah, I think the humor was still relatively solid, and just going from a stinker like Escape from Monkey Island, I do think this is definitely the way to go.
Right. I think it was a very good step up. I know I wasn't around for too much of it. I know I had to pass out. I know I had to, like, skip on some of the stuff from here and there, but
honestly, I think the only time you're ever really gone was, I think, a chunk of episode 4. I think 2. Aside from that, you were there for the whole thing.
He was gone from 2 entirely. Yeah, he was gone for the entirety of Spinner King.
Okay, well, you were still there for a good chunk of it, though.
But yeah, from what I saw, the writing was all there. It didn't feel like an uncanny Monkey Island. Sure, again, yeah, some elements definitely felt a little fan fiction-y. I mean, but that's just Telltale for you.
Yeah.
But
especially, I mean, obviously the big elephant in the room was the inclusion of Morgan Le Fay.
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted just another, like, they wanted to, have a love triangle, but I do hope she's okay. She did grow on me as a character.
Yeah, but we'll see where that goes from there. But do you have anything else to say before we turn...
Actually, before you move on to Jordy's thoughts, I'm just thinking back to that one part where it's like, she's explaining that one thing to Guybrush, it's like, subtext.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was funny.
But yeah, just honestly, like, it is weird that they tried to push the idea of a love triangle, but I'll give them credit that I appreciate that they didn't go all the way with it and kept Guybrush as faithful to Elaine as possible, because, that's just who he is.
Right, and I think that's what helps this story, the fact that Guybrush really is Guybrush to a T.
Yeah,
like he wouldn't go dropping Elaine for just this random pirate hunter she recently met.
Now, real quick, before we get to your thoughts, Jordan, we have one more scene.
Oh?
Yeah, we have a little stinger at the end here.
So
Let's
yeah,
see.
whatever did happen to the voodoo lady?
We're about to find out.
Way out into the ocean.
So, my child, have you done as I asked?
I have.
LeChuck.
For your end of the deal.
It's his essence.
Yes, your actions have influenced your fate.
So yeah, apparently she had Morgan hunt down the remains of LeChuck, and in return, she's going to give her a means to return to the living as a ghost pirate hunter.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Are there many ghost pirates around besides
You
LeChuck?
have chosen your own fate.
Don't
go.
know, but...
There is much work to be done before the tides of destiny shift again.
Ba-da-da-da.
So yeah, assuming the series continued, I assume that's pretty much how LeChuck would have been brought back.
Yeah, and I will say, like,
though,
one more thing that...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. One more thing that happens is, like, right after this, they also have, like, a little teaser for the 3rd season of Sam and Max.
Which is fine.
But I didn't want to show that since, we already did that game.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
That just... Yeah, I guess I'm confused, like, what that would have meant, and I'm kind of sad that with LucasArts dissolved, with Telltale... Kind of, I don't know what we're kind of on and off right now.
Telltale's in a really odd place as of this moment, but
well, like, because at first it was bankrupt, then it was gone. Then I heard that some people brought it back. Maybe, I'm not sure, but
we'll have to look into it. So, Jordan, I know that there've been a few moments where you've been kind of quiet or just been kind of like observing everything. So, and I know this is essentially like the first time we brought you into Monkey Island in general, but just from what you've seen here, what do you think of it all?
Personally, I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked, the overall story. The comedy was pretty funny. Really got me hooked the most. Guybrush is a funny character. I like Elaine. I like Morgan. She's one of my favorites, and I was just heartbroken to see her die. But
then that twist happened.
Right.
I was gonna say, the twist... like I said before, I saw it coming. It was just pretty obvious, but...
Wait, now real quick, because let's not beat around the bush. There's quite a bit of twists in this Devil Dam series.
Okay,
Which twist are you referring to?
I'm referring to the twist that LeChuck was evil all this time, even in his human form.
Okay, that one.
Yeah, that's the twist I was referring to. Like,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, there were some moments where I kind of just saw that coming. Like, it's kind of hard nowadays to not put in, like, new twists, or at least, like, put in an old twist that, to keep people on their toes until the very end, or at least until that point. But it still works, for this story.
I mean, it also helps, too, that we're dealing with a character that's pretty much been, an evil bastard, like, throughout the entire thing. You think you think they would have just suddenly just have a change of heart by the 5th game of all times?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like expecting Dr. Wily to have a change of heart by the 3rd game.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, no, I liked this. I'm glad that you guys, got me into it, even if it was late in the game. Kind of like Sam and Max. But, yeah I liked it. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Has going through this kind of, like, made you interested in checking out our commentaries for the other games? Because we have done commentaries for every other game except for Escape, which, yeah. But, yeah, has this brought an interest in you checking those out at some point?
I might look into it. I'm not sure, but I'll consider it.
But, okay, yeah, we'll look more into that. But yeah, well, like I said, like, not counting Escape, which, I as infamous as it is, I feel like we probably are gonna, at least as a look at, I feel like we probably need to touch on it eventually, but, like, only as a look at, though. I don't want to dedicate a whole commentary to it, but yeah, aside from Escape, we pretty much tackled the entirety of the Monkey Island franchise, and honestly, just the entirety of just anything big as far as, like, what made LucasArts, and to an extent, Telltale what it is. So, like, unless we want to...
I was just saying pretty much.
So I guess unless we wanted to, like, do something like convert one of the LucasArts look-ats that we did into commentaries, which I'm not quite sure which ones we would do or how long it would take, I think for now this is probably the last we'll get to the whole LucasArts point-and-click thing for a while. As far as things that I'm going to be recording, so... At the time of recording this, we pretty much marathoned the entirety of Episode 5 in one day, and on my dang birthday of all days.
Yeah, boy!
Yeah.
But yeah, for my birthday, my parents actually managed to get me a new capture card, one that will give me some good quality video for a change. And once I get an HDMI splitter, which that should be coming soon as well, I'm gonna use that opportunity to finally record Batman Arkham Asylum for the channel. I'll probably do it while we're in the middle of our little recording hiatus. Like, we're definitely gonna be uploading videos, but as far as, like, recording videos, we're gonna take a bit of a break from that. nap for a bit because we've been kind of like working ourselves a little too rigorously these past few months, and we kind of need a breather.
Not to mention
But
the
yeah,
fact that that despite everything that's going on, apparently it still doesn't mean that everyone's going to be freaking busy.
Yeah, it's honestly just like a bunch of things, so we just do kind of need to take a rest. But yeah, next time we get started on things, I'm gonna try to see if I could be able to record Arkham Asylum for us. I definitely want to do Asylum. Not quite sure about City because that's a much beefier game. I'll have to look into that.
I would say we could do that game all right, assuming we don't go for all the Riddler shit.
Okay, not just Riddler stuff, but that's something we can tackle another time. And again, sorry for dragging on with plans in the future. But yeah, that was Tales of Monkey Island. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'm glad everyone seemed to have had a good time going through it. And until next time, I'm Hyper Voice Acting.
I'm Jay's Mainstream.
I'm Lucky Jack 20.
I'm Jordan the Cat 11, and beforehand we had Earthquake and of course Pymania. We thank you both for having joined us, even if it was for a temporary time.
And we'll see you all next time we decide to do anything for this channel, whether it be a new commentary or a new look at, or just whatever we feel like doing. Thank you all for watching, and we hope you all have a grand night.
Bye.
Arr, till next time, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, gosh.